Call the meeting to order at 6:35. First item is to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held on June 26th
So moved.
and the special meeting held on July 3rd, 2018.
And also so moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item 3 on the agenda is an update just on a Route 80 bridge repair. There's a meeting tomorrow night, so I'm sorry I didn't get this out on a couple of weeks ago. But the state of Connecticut, the work isn't going to take place for a couple of years. But there's a preliminary meeting just to let people in town know about it tomorrow night upstairs at 7 o'clock. There's a bridge up near Deep River Farms on Route 80, right towards the top right there.
That's what I thought it was.
You might have seen them out doing some survey work in the last few months. That bridge is going to be replaced, as I said, a couple of years ago. It looks as if they're going to make the culvert a little bit bigger and kind of a different shape, modern engineering and all that kind of thing. But it's quite a ways down the road. The state's doing it, state highway and all that kind of thing. So there's not going to be any real cost to the town except for the detour when they're actually doing the work.
Be interesting to hear what kind of a detour they're going to have. That's a pretty busy.
I think you can figure that one out pretty quickly. And
Only a couple ways around.
yeah, but now we talked about them. We talked about that with them in the very beginning, and it's going to be closed during all of the construction. It'll be one lane, and then another lane for a good portion of the construction. But they'll be able to answer those questions in these informational meetings. The first of which is tomorrow night. So,
Excellent.
if you're interested in coming, if you're interested in filming, that would be awesome.
Do you know if it's an accelerated project?
I believe that it's not. It's a couple of years down the road that they're working on it.
No,
so.
accelerated,
Oh,
when they do it.
I asked them to do that, and they did not answer that it was not planned for that. But I asked them to do that because I didn't, in the wintertime, I sure as heck don't want to be plowing around a road that's.
Well,
we
my
need to have
biggest
that.
concern would be for the schools.
Yeah. Well, that was our concern. That was a lot of our talk.
There's no easy, you can't get to John Wick, you gotta go all the way around. Or if it was an accelerated project during the summer months.
That they have two detours that they did not put in this plan, but they have two detour routes.
Kelsey Hill and Cedar Lake Road.
Kelsey Hill and Cedar Lake.
Wow.
So, we'll continue the conversation with them. We'll continue to push for them to get in and out as quickly as they can, or at the very least to leave one lane open.
Margot, I guess we won't be coming to town.
Better stock up on your food.
Us Winthrop people.
Don't forget the milk on your way home. So, as I say, it's really just beginning.
That's fine.
But any questions you might have, we will continue to talk to them
I'll
about
probably
keeping the project. We'll be here tomorrow night. So.
Yeah.
I like the notion of an accelerated strategy.
Well,
Particularly
more
with
and more
schools
bridges
up there.
right now are being accelerated,
Yep.
Exactly.
Ultimately, in my experience, the project ends up costing a little bit less. There's more nighttime work and that kind of thing. But in the end, it gets done that much faster, and it's better for the community. So,
Correct.
Good.
Especially on a main artery there, A, getting to the town, and B, getting to the schools.
Yep. Bingo.
The people from town wanting to get to the school, they gotta come over Kelsey Hill, or the people from Winthrop, they'll have to get to the center, have to go either Cedar Lake Road or
Or Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Yeah.
so.
And that was the conversation. Is I said you're cutting off the whole northwestern part of the town from town. This is how we get in and out. So, if we could ask you guys to add an item to the agenda, I would like to talk about the appointment to the Region 4 Building and Grounds Maintenance Committee.
I'd like to add the appointment of the Region 4.
It's a motion.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We received a note, I think actually a little bit ago, back in June, the Region 4 Board of Education had determined that they wanted to get this grounds committee back up and going. It's in their charter. They're supposed to meet at least once a year. I don't think they've been active for a few years now. But Jennifer Clark, the chair of the board, sent an email out to Lauren and I asking us for members so that we could populate it again and get it active again. And what Jennifer wants to do is start a 5-year timeline planning for the grounds and for buildings, so that there's an idea of what spending is coming, what needs are, all that kind of thing. But she doesn't want to meet just once a year. She wants to meet 4 times a year at the very least. She wants to, what she says here, is that she wants to establish a closer working relationship between the town's finance committees and the Region 4 board. And I think I sent an email out to you guys about her vision of actually just having a real working committee that coordinates between the boards of finance, the boards of selectmen, and the school.
There would be more transparency. There would have been more transparency last summer.
I think that this is a direct result of that.
Correct.
Bingo.
And I think it's a positive step. I think both Chester and Deep River have been communicating that we want to have some longer range planning of some sort, knowing full well that as soon as you get a plan in writing, it's going to start changing. But at least if you have that plan, then you have an idea of what's coming down the road. Especially, this is interesting because it's grounds and and buildings. So it's a good step for them to plan. But what we've been communicating is that the board in general needs to plan so that we know that given the projections, what's the 5-year plans? How is our budget going to reflect the declining population over an extended period of time, not year by year, really with only a few months notice. So I'm hopeful that this is a step in that direction. We sent out an email to you two, to the Board of Finance. I had actually been hopeful that someone from the Board of Finance might step up, but also the Planning and Zoning Commission, just because of those, I think, are boards that have some interest in what's happening, and just looking for someone who might be interested. Dwayne has mentioned that he would be interested, so I think at least in the very beginning, it would be great to have someone from the Board of Selectmen who's also been very involved in the budget process over there, and has a lot of experience and actually sat on this committee.
Yep.
So I'm going to recommend that we appoint Dwayne to this.
Totally
committee.
support that.
So if you would second that,
I second that
we
motion.
can have a
Point
discussion
blank.
if you want to say anything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Angus and I had spoke when I was on the Board of Education. I sat on that committee, so I look forward to serving on that committee again.
Disappointed that I don't have the time with all my other
No.
activities, but
Well, you're going to get in on the emergency operations.
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's only going to bring transparency to everyone, what they're doing up there and what
Yeah.
we're trying to do here as Selectmen and Board of Finance, and working together so we all
We
know.
need that transparency. I was so disappointed with the way I saw things unfolding last year. It made it so hard for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah. So, okay. You got a second?
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Audience of citizens, any questions, any thoughts, any concerns?
Yes, have the union negotiations for town employees completed? And if so, can you summarize what the next 3-year contract is?
I'm reluctant to summarize yet because it hasn't gone to the full union for ratification. The Board of Selectmen met, I guess it was last week, to agree on the proposal. And it is in front of the union now for them to determine whether or not it's acceptable to them or whether we have to continue the negotiations.
Will they vote?
Yeah,
Okay, it's
Yeah.
before them for a
yeah,
vote.
they have to vote, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, the hope is, it was a difficult contract because there are some significant changes that are proposed. We're asking that that the union and the employees begin to contribute towards the health benefits. And that's a big step. While it's probably 15 or 20 years behind the times, as you can imagine, it's a big step. And we don't want people's paychecks to be going backwards just because of that. So we're trying to find the numbers that make it work. Other than that, it was pretty standard. It was a lot of language changes, but not a whole lot of significant changes to that.
Two quick updates for you guys.
Mhm.
The town crew came over. It appears they did a very super job with repairing that hole.
Mhm.
They've already put a manhole
Mhm.
cover in where it was and smoothed it up, reinforced it. As far as I can tell, they're done. So-
No, they'll be back. That was a cold patch they put on it. They're going to let it settle for a little bit
Okay.
and come back later on and cut that out and put some hot pavement on it.
They did put hot pavement on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whether or not there's anything else to be done,
Yeah, there is. That pavement is temporary.
oh, okay.
They'll be back to take
Yeah.
that out and put in some permanent
Yeah,
pavement
they were
once it
very
settles. and
speedy
things.
on that, so that's a good thing. The other thing, quick update on the issue of the flag pole.
Mhm.
What we have to do next is determine the dimensions for the base of the new eagle thing that will go in there. That's going to be the next step, so we've got to get somebody up there, and we're working with the fire department who can take the measurements, and then we can find the right eagle and get that ordered, and then get it in place.
Mhm.
So just to let you know, and my American Legion post is on top of that.
Good.
You wanna
I
get
thought
that?
Bear was going up there, right?
Bear is ready to go up there. I'm not sure his family will let him go.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I talked with him a few days ago. He sounded a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unfortunately he's lost a tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah.
Just I don't know how we'll stop him from going up there. That's all I got for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Any update on the dump with the new guy or new gate?
Yeah, Kenny started
No,
this
besides
week.
Kenny, I've met
Well,
Kenny.
yeah,
Kenny's done a great job.
actually, that's an interesting thing. There's been a rash of vandalism up at Platwood. The most recently was last night. And they tore up the I don't know what you call it, the food shack over by the pond. That got beat up pretty badly. Carol was up there all day, I think, with some other folks, cleaning it up. We're hopeful that we'll catch the perpetrator. But I'm actually thinking, in the long run, I'm going to have somebody up at the dump, probably starting next week, working the down below, so people will be rerouted back up to go through and ensure that they're from town and that they're paying for what they're dumping and that they're dumping the right stuff. I mean, Kenny spent half a day Monday down there pulling pallets and concrete out of this brush pile because people are just going down and dumping, and those, you can't put those down there. We get in a lot of trouble if they're down there, so
Yep.
we've got to control that. As we spoke, a person is probably better than a gate as far as doing that. So we'll spend the summer doing that. In the meanwhile, all of this happening up at Platwood, I'm considering asking everyone to take the money that we approved for the gate for the dump and put in the gate at Platwood.
Bingo.
It comes down at 10 o'clock at night when the place closes, and there's no way in other than walking in, and I think that would help, and we're that's what we're thinking about. I'd ask you guys to think about that, and we'll have a conversation about it and talk to the fence guy. We have a bid, or we have an estimate on the cost of one for the dump, so we might as well just transfer it over to there.
What about cameras? Nothing with cameras?
Yeah, we've got cameras up there, but we haven't had much luck with this yet. Yeah.
Makes sense to put it up at Platwood.
Yeah, we've actually caught a number of the kids with the cameras. This particular one, this was, he shut off all the breakers. So there was some question as to whether or not the cameras are gonna work. I haven't heard yet. So. But, so that's what, I think we may invest in that as opposed to at the dump and use the person, the summer
Yeah.
people, summer help up at the dump.
Perfect, perfect. Easy solution.
But Kenny's, Paul's last day was last week. And we had a little party here to say thank you very much.
Yeah.
And he did a great job for us, and now
No,
Kenny's
Kenny so far said he
excited.
loves it. I talked to him Sunday when I was up there, he said he loved it.
You know what's fascinating is
Yeah.
right now we're fitting twice the capacity of garbage in one of these containers as we fit in that great big
God.
container truck before. So.
You can pack.
You can pack it a little tighter without popping out
I'll
the
blow out the
sides.
sides.
But so it's been so far a great success.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah. You come in with anything to say?
Oh, just listening.
Okay, great.
That's
Let's see.
a dangerous thing.
We do have
It is.
we do have some two roads will be being paved. Melody Ridge up in Winthrop, and can't remember the little road off of Bridge Street. There's a little loop, Jones Lane.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna and Bridge Street will get some pavement towards the end of July, and then hopefully we'll get some more money from the state on the Town Aid Road before the end of the summer, and we can get going on a couple of other roads.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're looking at trucks. I'm going to be taking a ride up to New Hampshire sometime in the next week or so to see what's on the lot up there. So we could have a new truck soon.
Wow.
Anything with the grant for the fire department?
We actually are deciding between a couple different grant writers.
Okay.
We're going to meet with each of them. One of whom has done an awful lot of work for us in the past, but not specific to fire trucks and fire equipment. The other guy is not from around here, has no experience working with us, but has focused his efforts on fire apparatus.
Good.
So, and we've been in contact with the Congressman's office, and they're offering us to help to gear up. They've got a seminar coming up sometime in August, I think, and September is when they start really ramping it up. So.
Good.
Okay, and that's coming fast, if you can believe it or not. We got the muster coming, so we're getting ready for
Middle
the
of July,
muster.
man.
Yeah, I know. 4th of July, I always say that's the end, summer's over.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Anything else?
No, sir.
Anything else? We'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.